Is it live now?
Okay. Yes, we are live.
Okay.
I believe in 3, 2, 1. Okay. And this is the first time I've gone on live for a while, so somebody's just going to have to deal with it. All right. Well, we are live, or we're going to say we're live anyway. And this is Lee After Dark. Why? Because there's more to being a business leader, dagnabbit, than just business. So each episode, one brave entrepreneur just ejects the elevator pitch and just gets real with us for a while. Today, I'd like to welcome my friend Juan Pablo. How you doing, my friend?
Not bad, Lee. I mean, enjoying here in Seville. What about you? How is it going in life?
It's living the dream as always, being the emperor of words, heavy as the head that wears the crown, and all that. But it's going nice. So where are you located? For those who don't know you.
Well, I mean, I am originally from Venezuela. I live now in Seville. I started out for 10 years as a translator. Now I am pivoting a little more into copywriting, sales copywriting, because, well, I think it's more satisfying for me not only money-wise, but in terms of creativity, in terms of preparation, in terms of research, so many things. I'm trying to copy Lee here, but I mean, I am the emperor. I'm not the emperor of words. Maybe I am the peasant of words.
Wow. No wonder we didn't go down that far. Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, listen, you probably know the rules already, but I have to reiterate them for the crowd at home. For the next 20 minutes, for the most part, you can talk about anything you want but your business. And I say for the most part because we are streaming live on, I believe, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and I'm not even sure where else. I've just started this whole restream thing. We've used StreamYard in the past. And so I just got a restream subscription so that we could run Zoom through streaming to the rest of these channels. So it may work perfectly, and I may look back and just discover it's all blown up. But, potato. Anyway, you've got 20 minutes to talk about anything but your business. Should you succeed, you've got 5 minutes to pitch up a storm. Sound like fun? Yeah?
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer here to keep us honest here. And what the heck would you like to get into for the next 20 minutes?
Well, I would like to tell you about my story and how I went from translator to a copywriter and why what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to inspire your audience into taking action for their dreams.
Okay, cool. All right, so let it rip. What started you down this path?
Well, honestly, in the last 3 years, 4 years, I have seen that. I had seen that my goal was not ever more to just repurpose words into another language. My mission was to actually create things, and I realized that. I realized that I could help more people with my imagination, with my researches, with time I could actually spend doing things that were not being attached to the writing machine, because many people think that copywriters are just people who are typing like you call it once word slingers, right?
Yeah, word slingers, yes.
Yeah, many people think that we are just word slingers, but actually it's way more than that. It's actually a lot of work that you need to do in advance, like researching for the voice, the tone, how you're going to express it, and who you're talking to. Actually, I had problems like that before because I didn't know who I was talking to, and now, I have finally made it. So you need to work as a strategist, and those are things that I like the most and enjoy the most for that, instead of just being repurposing content into another language. I think that's why I have changed this year.
Okay.
Of course. My edge would be like, I understand how cultures work, okay, and how to actually fit things into the culture, because cultures are extremely different. You cannot talk to a UK person to a US person in the same way, for example.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about that. I mean, what potential problems are there? I mean, and I've seen this time and time again, but I'm curious, is from your point of view, how big of a problem can this create if you don't understand the differences?
Well, I mean, let's see. I am from Latin America. Latin Americans tend to be more direct, more straightforward. Okay, we say "dame una cerveza," which is the equivalent of "give me a beer."
Okay.
Okay, at least in the UK, if you say like that, they're going to spit on your beer, basically.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
Because
think
they're
in the
all about
US,
the polite and the may I please have yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think in the US you say one beer, please, but still you say the please. In Spain we don't say the please at all. You say "dame una cerveza." Okay,
Okay.
so and it's not impolite. So if you speak to those, to two cultures in the same way, you may have a problem like that. Or if you say, for example, pants and trousers. Okay, when I was in the UK, because since I am from Venezuela, I learned English, but from the US. So once I was talking with some friends of mine, and I told them, "Hey, my pants were all wet," and they understood my underwear was all wet. So
Oh,
yeah, it can
okay. Yeah, I
be.
can see how that would be a problem.
Yeah, it's funny. Cultural differences are funny until they stop being funny. I
Right, right.
mean,
Yeah, and when it comes to business, or building your brand or building sales, especially online, yeah, you can't afford to have those problems.
you cannot afford to have that problem. Exactly. Okay, on your landing page, on your website, you cannot afford to have these problems. For example, something as stupid as changing the the currency. An American buys in dollars, but a person from the UK buys in Great Britain pounds, and they are not used to the dollar. So probably if you say this is $2, they will you will make them start thinking.
Hmm.
And when they start thinking, they use logics. And when they use logics, you lose the sale.
That's
Well,
right.
yeah, in some niches where I am, for example, I do it for coaches like yourself. So when you are doing for coaches, maybe you need more like the passion driven copy, polarizing copy, and telling people this is what you need to do, blah blah. But if you make them think too much, people are going to say, how much is that? And then they're going to start thinking. Probably it's not a good idea if you make them start thinking. So it's very important that you understand these little differences when you are addressing with culture with our client in different places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So, tell me about where this is taking you so far. You said you're aiming to branch out into copywriting. So, what have you experienced so far?
Well, I have built funnels for my own business. Okay, both in English and Spanish.
Hmm.
I have helped some coaches right now. I am helping a coach, a mom entrepreneur right now. I am helping also a guy that does these opportunities. He does not only crypto, but he does affiliate marketing in general. So he offers people the opportunities to get into different branches with his links. I'm also about to. I am trying to see if I can get a gig with an e-commerce guy, an e-commerce guru in Spanish. So
Oh,
I am trying
okay.
to, yeah, I'm trying to help coaches in general because for the last 3 years I have been so exposed to their copies, to the way they speak, to the way they sell that. Well, I became kind of an expert, willingly or not. And my other part is for leaders, for business leaders. Because I know how leaders need to speak. I understand NLP. I understand how neurolinguistics programming works.
Hmm.
So I understand how you can actually combine copy and neurolinguistic programming together to make a better copy and get more sales.
Hmm. Exactly. Okay. So, and knowing how that works in both languages is so critical,
Yeah.
so, because those things don't always cross very well. So, um, tell me about the market for, this in non-English speaking environments. I mean, have you found that there are, people who are actively looking for people who can write copy effectively in
Well,
non
well,
other languages other than English?
well, that's an interesting question right now. That's an interesting question. I mean, I have clients in both languages, English and Spanish. Uh, of course, in English is more abundant the work because I mean in America, in the and the UK, you have I mean they are the biggest producers in the world. But for example, in Latin America, in Spain, they have like 5 years of delay with everything. So I mean they need copywriters. They need people who know how to sell and how to produce copy that sells. I mean, that's why I can help the businesses in both languages. And the good thing is that since I speak English already, they understand. I mean, I can know what is working in the US market and I know what the new trends are. So I can help my clients way more with that intelligence that maybe, I mean, more likely they don't know it because they don't speak English. That's a very common issue in Latin America and Spain. People don't speak English, so they don't get to know all the new trends in the US market.
Oh, okay. Right, right. It becomes very easy, I think, for us, especially the United States, to assume that, English is so widely spoken that everyone, I think, of course, it's a little, narrow-minded and solipsistic to think so, but, we don't realize sometimes that there are, there are plenty of people out there who don't speak English, at least not fluently.
No, yeah, I mean, in Spain, I think it's like 30% of people speak so at some level of English. So I mean, it means that 70% of people in Spain only don't
Mhm.
speak English. That's Spain. Spain's a European country that is developed. I mean, that actually cares about that. So imagine that, for example, countries like my Venezuela, for example, or Colombia or some of these countries. I mean, the English influence is nil for that. I mean, so they actually need help to understand that. Of course, markets behave differently. For example, I was working the other day on a launch in a launch, and we were talking like, okay, how are we going to target Canadians? How are we going to target US Americans? Because apparently Canadians are not as impulsive as Americans. I don't know if that's true. Where,
Not as impulsive.
yeah, buying. I mean, they don't take the credit cards right away, and they need to think it, and they need to different like approaches. The same for Australia, apparently. So even in
Sometimes, yeah.
yeah, sometimes I mean, even in the English speaking countries, the approaches that you need are different. That's what you call in marketing a
Mhm.
localized marketing. I mean, the copy that you use in America, you cannot use in Canada, or the same strategies. I mean, maybe you need to target top of funnel many times in Canada before they actually take the next step.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and same for Australia, same for UK. Okay, in UK, I mean UK and America are very similar in many things, but in others, they are not that much. One of the things I think is, for example, in America, they are very nationalist. Like, oh, yeah, America is great, and the UK, they are not that. They're more with the Queen right now, or with the future king. Hopefully, there's a future king. I don't know. Elizabeth has reigned a long time now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, do you see uh, copywriting opportunities increasing in the future in non-English speaking markets?
Totally. I mean, with the digitalization right now, after this situation we're all living, I mean, increasingly more businesses are going digitalized, are going digital. So they need copywriters. They need good copywriters like yourself. Or well, yeah, and peasants like myself. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think this right now is the best moment to become a writer. Okay, but of course, as I said before, and as you have said in many of your posts, you just don't need a word slinger. You need a strategist behind that. I mean, if you're a SEO copywriter, it's not that you're going to write only. They're going to pay you more if you can strategize the SEO. If you are a content copywriter, it's not that they're going to pay you a lot of money if you write copy. They're going to pay you money if you strategize the content for that. I mean, so you need to understand how to tackle business and personal values and benefits instead of just being a technical level copywriter.
Right. Yeah, I don't really see a whole lot of difference between content and copy these days. I mean, people will argue about it, this is content, this is copy. Realistically, if you're doing your job, everything that you put out there should be in some way moving them toward wanting to do business with you. Even if it's just letting them get to know you as a person.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the wonderful part of being here in this profession. I mean, all things are intertwined together. I mean, it's not like one thing is other. But I think, for example, if you're localizing, I mean, if you're taking products into another language, for example, content is not as valuable as a landing page. I mean, because localization tends to be a little more expensive. It tends to be a little expensive. So you need to categorize, like, I mean, this content is really important. This content is not that important. So, I mean, I would say content writing, maybe you can just machine translate it and put somebody else to look at it. Instead, copywriting for a landing page or for a UX or whatever conversion related thing, you need a real word emperor or emperor of words.
Well, I can't argue with that at all. That's true. I mean, you have very little time to get people's attention and get them on your side, get them to want to buy your product and to want to do business with you. And so every word does count. Absolutely. So, so we've covered that pretty much. So you talked about, being from Venezuela. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, because, what was that like for you growing up in Venezuela?
Well, I mean, I can divide my life in Venezuela in two parts.
Okay.
Actually, and two halves that are more or less the same length. When I was, how old was I? I was 13, I think. Yeah, or 12. Chavez arrived to power. Okay. Electorally. So I mean, before that, I had a happy childhood. I was just another Venezuelan guy, but after we arrived, things started to get radicalized. Okay, when I mean, 2002, there was a coup d'état in Venezuela. Actually, Chavez was toppled for 48 hours. Those were one of my happiest 48 hours in my life. Okay, yeah, unfortunately, the guy returned. I don't know how he did it. Yeah. So yeah, that event actually was a turning point for me in terms of, I mean, for the following, I don't know, 13 years, I was always following politics. I was always reading about it. I mean, I knew the names of all politicians in Venezuela and so on. I got into it, but I mean, and when Chavez died in 2013, I left Venezuela. I mean, because I had an opportunity to work in the UK, but I said to my dad, I remember that the last day I was in Venezuela, I told Dad, no worries, Dad, I will be back in a year or two. Okay, and he told me, we don't know. I mean, bad things don't always happen on television. Sometimes you have to live with bad things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, effectively. The following year, 2014, the crisis started. Well, I mean, and I couldn't return to Venezuela. I couldn't return to Venezuela. I mean, it's very painful. And well, I mean, I need to break
Sure.
off. Yeah, I need to break off with it emotionally because it was too, I mean, not being able to return to your country against your will, against your will. I mean, because you feel like, I mean, I want to be there, but
Right.
I can't. Now my parents are in Colombia. I mean, they moved to Colombia at age 59. I mean, 2 years ago. I mean, they're starting from scratch as if they were a couple of youngsters, but they're not.
Wow.
Well, yeah. For example, I think one of the saddest episodes was last year. Last year, my grandfather died in June,
Oh, I'm
July.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. I commented though that well, I mean, I couldn't see him because of the pandemics. Well, I couldn't see him in December because well, I had spent most of my money on coaching programs, on trying to become better, a better person. That really was a turning point for me as well. I got depressed. I always got into well, I got into depression pills. So yeah, those yeah. I mean, but right now I am better. I am like okay, yeah. I made the peace with that fact, and things when I pivoted into copywriting, things have started to get better. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
exactly. I've heard so many people, say that they've drawn on their own personal trauma, their own personal pain and experiences like that that have helped them become a better copywriter because they have better sense of empathy,
yeah,
and
yeah. Actually, right now I am taking. I mean, I'm reading about non-violent communication because apparently the way I speak is a little violent. Apparently, I mean, everybody has their flaws. Apparently, my way of speaking, not speaking of writing, apparently, as discussing is a little violent.
huh,
Apparently,
I okay, I never would have guessed that, but all right.
yeah, yeah,
Huh,
no, I mean, because you and I we know each other personally, and well, personally on like through this,
sure.
but yeah, but apparently, I mean, the because when I say my opinion, when I state my opinion, I say I know it's true what I'm saying, and then I try to tell them, hey, this is the way we should do it. But apparently, the way I speak and the way I write sounds like as if I were a jerk, posting opinions on them.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, yeah, I'm trying to learn how to communicate less violently, and it's very important that you actually understand that and you can grow more empathy on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, I mean, the way I arrived to copywriting is because in 2018 I started these coaching programs. I learned social media. Look at this. I learned social media. I learned ads. I learned funnels. I learned, but the needle wasn't moving until somebody told me once, I mean, what? But you are a translator. I mean, the logical step that you should make is move to copywriting. If you don't want to translate anymore, move to copywriting.
Good.
That's your skill. And actually, I have seen that the needle is moving for me.
Great.
Of course, I mean, I can add now. I can stack up all the skills that I have learned before. But I mean, that's something that sometimes you don't see your skills because gurus are always telling you like, oh yeah, no, your skills, I mean what you learned at university is useless. Learn with me a very high income
Mhm.
skill.
Oh yeah. Yeah. As they drive up in their rented Maseratis and their McMansions. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, no, life is definitely the best teacher when it comes to copywriting. But there's something to be said for having some academic background too. I mean, I've seen plenty of copywriters who come in who they want to be great copywriters, but they just don't understand the mechanics of language. And and again, that changes across languages too, because the way that something would be structured in English and the way it would be structured in Spanish could be very, very different.
Yeah,
So it's just understanding those nuances is that takes a lot of time and practice. But I'm glad that you're willing to dedicate yourself to that. And speaking of that, we've officially we kind of like 20 minutes not talking about your bits. We skirted it a few times, but for the most part, we did pretty cool. So for the next up to 5 minutes, I'll give you a chance to talk about where people can get in contact with you, how they can hire you, who you're looking for. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, you can contact me on LinkedIn. I am always posting on LinkedIn. I don't know if it's good content, but content is content. Okay, I'm always posting there. I think Lee likes some of them because I see his things there. So I mean, you can contact me over there. I help coaches and I help leaders, business leaders, to actually make more sales with their. I mean, especially on email copywriting and sales copywriting as well. And if you are a sports guy, okay, I also like sports. I actually work with FIFA 17 and 18, so I know how to write copy for sports. So I mean, if you are guys sportsers, you can contact me as well.
That's fantastic. I wouldn't write sports stuff if my life depended on it. So I know I can send it to you now. We don't have to worry about it. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love sports, and well, yeah, it was a dream actually. I wanted to be a footballer when I was a kid, but yeah, I had no talent.
I'm right there with you. I wanted to be a wrestler when I was a kid.
Yeah, but
so when I grew up and I got these big,
like these guys.
But hey, it makes for good shtick on the internet. So you roll with it, right? Yeah, use what you got.
Okay.
Very cool. Well, listen, if you haven't gotten in touch with Juan Pablo, just please go do it. Go follow him on LinkedIn. I'll stick the link in the replay to your profile so they can get in touch with you there. Any parting words before we wrap this up today? I know you got some other stuff you got going on.
No. I mean, as usual, it's a pleasure to talk with you here. I invite you, as I told you, I invite you to a group for a small call like this. And maybe in the future, if you have Clubhouse, the same I need to buy an iPhone for that. When my copywriting business really gets started, really gets a momentum, we can start talking about copywriting and stuff maybe in the future.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That would give me a reason to do that. Like, I keep thinking about it. We've talked about this, and I've just been like, man, I don't have time. It's freaking Clubhouse, man. I'm already spending all day on social media. What the heck? But if it's for a worthwhile cause and teaching some people some things, I might be down with it. Yeah. Even if it means buying a damned iPad thing.
Yeah, I don't like it either. The idea of buying an iPhone only for that, but
or they could just like quit screwing around and roll out the Android update, and that would just solve everything. But until then, it is what it is. But all right. Well, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. We are out of time, but if you enjoyed Lee After Dark and found it more relevant and entertaining than the rest of the dreck out of the internet, then subscribe to my daggone YouTube channel at leeafterdark.com, and also check us out on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Pocket Rocket. I don't know. We're all those places. So share, build the audience. Come on, we're doing this for you people. Until next time, this is Lee Rowley with my good friend Juan Pablo. Be present and be well. We're out of here.
We are.